Ma'am.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
It's April 29th, right? Yes, it is April 29th. It's my mom's birthday today, but she's not with me. But that's okay too. But it is her birthday. Anyway, we're going to start our meeting.
She put him on the calendar.
Okay. There are extra agendas right up there if you'd like them. And Mark, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mark. All right, let's do roll call.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Pat Tarswell.
Here.
Commissioner District 3, Sharon Trask.
I am here. Item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. Do we have any correspondence?
We did. We received notice of liquor license application from Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board for the Posh Pescatarian. We received applications for the following: Lodging Tax Advisory Committee from Deidre Peterson, Rachel Hansen, and John DeLeva. Housing Authority Board from Sandra Petrich, Douglas Peterson, and Roger Lewis. And Noxious Weed Control Board from Julie Vivone.
All right, great. Thank you. Let's move on to item 4.2, Timberland Regional Library Annual Report.
That would be me, just a minute.
like pictures.
Oh, I don't have pictures, but
Well,
I'll hold some
they're
up.
on what was submitted to us, there's lots of good pictures.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, hi, I'm Tony Gwynn. I'm the trustee from Pacific County, and I volunteered to come and do this in person so that you would actually have somebody here. And this is Annie, who is the regional manager for the libraries here. So between the two of us, when we get done, we should be able to answer some questions or anything that you may have. Thanks for letting me come. Can you guys hear me?
Absolutely.
Because I will be up front. I'm on the stick. That was not a threat.
It was a promise.
So anyway, you should have received the Timberland Library 2024, see, look, pictures, booklet, which has a lot that I'm going to talk about. I'm also going to give you some highlights for 2025 because there's some exciting stuff that is happening. I'm going to try to get the statistics more towards Mason County. Forgive me, I'm a Pacific County person, so I've got Pacific County in my head, but I wrote down Mason County. So between Annie and I, we can do it. The Timberland Library served 550,000 people in all of the counties over in 2024. In Mason County, your physical checkouts, you know, people coming in, taking a book and going and bringing it back, that's important too. It was down 1%, which is not unusual. It's kind of was the norm of what was happening. Some counties were up, some counties were down. You guys were kind of right in the middle. But you had 259,616 checkouts last year that were physical. On electronic checkouts, which you can do from your phone without leaving your house, you were up 13%. You were number 3 in all the counties for the increase in digital checkouts. So you had 199,143 checkouts. That's really nice to see. You have 3 libraries in your county, and people are using your libraries at a good rate. You have 31,315 people who have library cards. I'm hoping everyone in this room has one. These guys went, yes, that's great. If nothing else, you get $44 a month free copying. You can send your copies in and get your copying done. And I know for a lot of volunteer organizations, it's one of the ways that they can help with the budgets and save and go forward. So, okay, so if you have 31,000 people and your county is what, at about 67,000 now? So you've got a pretty good rate of library population being used, but we could use more. We can always use more. So, tell everyone that you use the library and that it's a good thing to do. This month, see, this is me jumping ahead to 2025. This month we're going to hit a real goal. This month being May, because I'm done with April when this is over, and we're going to have our 200 million title checked out on digital for the library. So it's kind of exciting that it is happening. We have expanded access in a lot of libraries. There's 12 now in the districts where you get one card that I carry in my wallet, and it will allow you access to those 12 libraries between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. And for those of you who suddenly say, wait a minute, they're not staffed every day for those times, you're right. But you can go in with your library card. Trust me, you are watched. We had our first theft from the library during those times. Now don't panic, it's got a good ending. We had a person who went in and took a newspaper home with them. But the library staff figured out who it was, looked up their library card, because remember you got to have the card to get in, called them, they apologized and brought it back. All good. So that is one of the things that we're working towards, because that means if you're homeschooling, but you have a 7 to 8 o'clock time that you can take kids to the library, you can do it. So we're working on that in a big way. The other thing that's started up last year that is exciting is the Anywhere Library. For those of you over a certain age, you may think of it as a bookmobile, but it's a little bit more. I'm a bookmobile kid, so this is really exciting to me. And I also got to ride around with the Anywhere Library, so I can really speak to this. It's one of the most physical jobs I've ever seen. But a big white van drives up to your area, unloads a library, and you have all the services of a library and a person to talk to, and you can check things out, and you can get services, and you can do all the fun things that you can do. So Joe is your Anywhere librarian. Is that right, Annie?
Yes, it is.
Gosh, I got the right person in the right county, yay. So in this county, the Anywhere Library is just getting going. So it's been at the Mason County Senior Activity Center, the Shelton YMCA, the Squaxin Island Child Development Center, the Shelton United Methodist Church, and CeLo and Shelton. Am I getting that right? Great, I got that right. The North Mason Hub Senior Center, and festivities and events. So look for your Anywhere Library. It's up and coming. Other thing that's happening is we had a refresh in Westport and Selcom, thank you. I was going to go a little north. Refresh is usually painting, flooring, a children's area, and play structures. Part of this is we have communities that are struggling cleaning libraries, so the things that we can do that make them easier to clean. I have to tell you, as a board member, I have never learned so much about cleaning bathrooms, because we want our libraries to be inviting and to be, welcoming. And a clean bathroom is a welcoming bathroom. So we've been trying to help communities clean easier. So we have Roombas that can do some of the vacuums and be helpful. The other things we're looking at are children's structures. And before you suddenly say, why would you want a child running through the library? Remember that there is a lot of data out there that shows that some of us learn reading being active. So we have some kids that are going to learn to read by engaging all their little motor skills. We also have people who need to have low light sensory isolation. So if you look at the play structures, which you can see in here, because there's some really good pictures of them, you'll notice that a lot of the play structures incorporate a safe, quiet area where kids can get out of the, and I'm going to say this, chaos of the library. even though we think of libraries as a place where people go to be quiet and be told to be quiet, you can actually giggle in your library. So normally we work for social connection and improve staff workflow and those types of things when we're looking at refreshing libraries. The new Mountain View Library opened in January of this year. This is the first time in decades that Timberland has, pulled a library and got it together, so it's ready to go. One of the things that you may notice is the increased programs that we've had. You guys have had some, well, Anne's going to tell you about those when I get done here, some really great programs with walking in with babies and parks and different things, yeah. This is the 5th year in a row that Timberland has had a clean financial and accountability audits, which makes me really happy as a board member. The other thing that started is the No Shh podcast. These are really interesting. If you've always wanted to learn about like the Anywhere Library, that's a really good one because I'm on it. You guys would like it. You can go to YouTube and you can just look for us, and they have all the different subjects. If you want to learn all about expanded access libraries or why we refresh, if I really excited you about bathroom paint, watch one of those podcasts because they're up and coming, and they're helping us get our information out so that you know what we're doing. There's also a new online store, so you can buy TRL swag. I couldn't find any in the dark this morning, sorry. We also did a year-long, very painful but very full strategic plan last year. And we're going to look at this process will keep us through 2029. It's okay, don't get it, I'll worry, I'll get it when I get it. What we're looking at there is we're going to focus on digital literacy. So already in the libraries, there's little brochures about how to use the library from your phone. And there's a lot of training going on how to do that. We're sharing our story, and we're supporting school-age youth because it's always good to know how to read. We have new checkout equipment coming that makes between IMES, oh, please don't ask me what that stands for. I have no idea, but there's a podcast on it that will explain that for a while our shelves looked like there were few books, but we were measuring all the books and getting all the sizes and stuff, and now we have this great system where instead of staying in the center receiving for a few days, just like it goes out, and there are very few books that are just hanging around. The books are all out in the library, so the shelves are fluffier, which is really a nice thing to see. But there's another piece of that equipment coming May 25th, which is going to help with checkout and making things easier. Tumwater is being refreshed. It's going to open this summer. And Ocean Park down in my part of the world is going to be closing in June for a refresh and opening in August. So Annie, what did I miss?
Let's see.
Oh no, stand up here and come up here.
I think you did a great job, actually.
She has to say that because I'm a board member.
You said I was going to tell them a little bit more about programming. So we recently had a little bit of a supervisory restructuring where we work as a region instead of individual buildings. So the 3 Mason County libraries are now a whole team. And we've got a regional programming coordinator, Steve, who is excellent. And all of our programmers, instead of working at individual buildings, you'll see them traveling around throughout the county, which is particularly great for Hoodsport or North Mason who have less staff there all the time. They're getting the benefit of the programmers that work here in Shelton, so those parts of the community are getting more of that service, which is really great. And we get to look at the county as a whole instead of just the little hubs where the libraries are. Since we're working as a region, we can get to all of those patrons in between towns better.
And this is the really cool picture of the Shelton Library. You know, if you haven't, have you guys been down there? It's got a pirate ship in it. And it is now a destination library. There are people who come with their families for kid activities there. And I'm hoping they eat lunch or maybe, you know, visit or do something else. But the Shelton Library is getting a lot of talk in the library world for the pirate ship play structure in it. Any questions?
I do. I got a question. You're allowing people to get into the library after your regular business hours,
And
as
before.
long as they have a card.
Right, and if you have a
Okay.
card, that means you're registered and we know where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we can call you if you take a newspaper home.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I just, is there the potential for, I can see that maybe that
You
could
know-
go south on you.
We've been doing it for maybe 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, since before I was on the
Yeah.
board, and that, we've only lost the sets of newspaper.
No vandalism?
Huh.
nobody
No,
camping
actually,
out?
most of the time the patrons who come during the after hours are so grateful to be able to use the library that they're like extra nice.
The other thing is, we've had some stories that, about people who have been in relationships or been driving and been frightened, so they've just gone to the library, and then they're safe and they're able to do that, so
Okay.
it's working out.
Good.
And I'm really gonna encourage you to watch the podcast on it, because there's a whole bunch of statistics that I can never remember about libraries and why they're safe and why it works that way, but it is working out.
Yeah, it's good to know. I didn't know that
Yeah,
service was there.
yeah.
Yeah, and our Hoodsport, here in Mason County, Hoodsport is the branch that has that.
Any other questions?
No,
Well-
that library is pretty amazing too. It's got a great story, so.
It does,
I
yeah.
encourage people to go there and take a look at that library and listen to the history of how it got there.
I watched the video of it.
I was
Yeah.
there, yes. Belfair and Hoodsport End.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Paul, if you have any other
And
questions.
commissioners, just so you know, she is just that positive, energetic, and happy at the board meetings as well. And by the way, don't forget to look at the podcast.
Yeah, listen to the podcast, that's always good. Thanks, I'm gonna drive back home.
Thank you.
Thank you. She's funny. All right, let's move on to item number 4.3. Ian, you're the man of the hour. The man of the minute.
Morning, Commissioners. Ian Tracy, Mason County Environmental Health. The Mason County Board of Health is seeking applicants for the On-Site Sewage Advisory Committee. The committee provides recommendations to the board regarding on-site septic system permitting, policies, and regulations. Their meetings are hybrid, occurring quarterly from 5 to 7 p.m. on the second Tuesday. The committee has vacancies for a shellfish industry position and a septic designer position. Please contact the Commissioner's office or visit the provided link to apply. For more information about the committee, you can contact our office at the provided phone number or email. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ian, that's a fun committee, isn't it?
It is a fun committee.
Yeah.
Lots of interesting topics.
Right? Yeah. All right, thank you. Let's move on to item number 5. This is the time that we set aside for citizens to speak to us. Each person has 3 minutes. We have a 15-minute max. And, yeah,
My name is Dave Mortensen. I'm a longtime committee member. I grew up here in Shelton. Had a great experience going through our schools. I, in fact, became a teacher myself and taught for over 34 years. Not all in Shelton, but a good portion of it there. I presented a couple other times before involving the amount of garbage and working with Mason County cleanup crew. Since then, a group of us has broken off of that and formed another group because we realized that the job was so huge that we couldn't possibly do it with a small community group that was doing that. So we broke off and became, I lost my notes here. called a group called No More Coalition, because we're tired of some of the things that we're seeing in our county. Now, No More Coalition has a group of priorities, and we have 4 of them right now. First one is getting rid of that ETS truck. We feel like it is just bringing in a lot of bad behavior in downtown Shelton and making it not a very nice place, especially Brewer Park. Enforcement of illegal camping in the city of Shelton and Mason County. Okay. Number 3, inform landowners of people illegal camping on their land and take legal action to enforce cleanup of those properties. 4, closure of Community Lifeline. Now, it's already closed, we know that, okay? But we felt that way, we made this up before we knew that it was closing, but because of the mismanagement of funds, you know, $400,000 in debt is absolutely, how could that happen? So that's our goals. Now, we're here to help you. Yeah, we see yourself as helping the council do some of these things. We went out, and I have a document. Can I give it to you? I'll give it to Randy here.
Chair, thank you.
We went out and used Onyx X Hunt, which is a program that the sheriff's office used, and it's basically for hunters to find out when they're hunting on people's property, to find out who they are to get permission, okay? But what we can do is we went out and actually went up on the hill at our own danger, because it's a little bit scary up there. And we know the owners of the property. We have addresses for you guys, hopefully, that you can take action on this. One thing that we found surprising was some of the biggest camps are on the city of Shelton property. And it's been going on for years. All right, I guess that's my time. I have definitely more. If you want to know more, come contact me.
We'll be around after the meeting as well.
Great. Thank you so much. All right. Please state your name and where you're from.
Dean Jewett, lifelong Mason County member. So I just kind of want to piggyback on what Dave was talking about. We did scour the hill. We went and put our boots on the ground, you know, and I appreciate you guys for walking out there and seeing some of these as well. It's really devastating to see some of the volume that we're talking about. That's one of the reasons we did kind of back off a little bit. There's no way that you can get 6, 8, 10 people, you know, collecting that much garbage. And what we did collect from what you guys did see, you need to times that by 10. There's also areas that are on county property that there's been fires that, you know, we've got second growth timber, you know, probably 10, 12, 14 trees in one specific area that had that fire happened at the right particular time, it would have shot right up the hill and went up to Capitol Hill and everything else. So we really need to focus on those things. We don't need to hear the talk. We actually need to see the action. We'll help. What do we need to do? Get the people together. I know that there's some legalities and liabilities and things like that, but at one point in time, does it become a liability on the county and the city for not cleaning it up and not taking care of it, and to have 2,400 5-gallon buckets of human feces flowing into Oakland Bay every year? And that's a conservative measure. Ian, we should chat. So, Community Lifeline, we know it's been shut down. I was under the understanding that they might be asking for county assistance. I know on the briefing, you know, it has county, city stuff. I want to make sure that you guys know that we're directly and severely opposed to that, and or even if it tries to go into anything else, there doesn't need to be any county funding assisting that, you know, that business model. I guess the other thing I want to have the commissioners ask is if Mark can give me information on the infrastructure help that was given to Community Lifeline. We're talking about the fire suppression system, the plumbing that was, you know, provided to that. How much funding was that? Where did it come from? Was it public approved? If they are no longer a shelter, are they in violation of whatever grant they were given, and that money should be paid back once the sale of the building is completed? I don't want to see us lose. I mean, I know how much fire suppression stuff costs. I just paid $39,000 to have my building wired, and that was without the fire suppression sprinkler heads. That's going to add another, $80,000 to $100,000. So I'd really like to know who, what, when, where, and why, and if we're going to get any of that monies back. 75% of the issues of the budget within the Mason County Fire Department and Shelton Fire Department is within 3 to 4 blocks. And I know that this isn't the city of Shelton, but the city of Shelton resides in Mason County. So I'd really like to see a solid collaboration of individuals to make sure that we have a plan and a short-term goal so that we can get her done. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else in the room? Yeah, appreciate your comments. And let's talk.
I know some of the things might be a little confusing, and I'd be happy to explain that 40-page document to you.
Okay, yeah, catch us after the meeting if you don't mind, and that way we can,
Okay?
because I'd like to spend more than 3 minutes. So, that'd
Me
be
too.
great. All right. Do we have anyone in the Zoom room that would like to address the commission? Doesn't appear so. All right. Let's move on to item number 6, adoption of the agenda.
Madam Chair, I move for adoption of the agenda as presented, except for under action agenda, I'd like to have item number 8.7 removed from the agenda. It'll come back on the agenda at some future point.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented with the removal of item 8.7 for future date. Any questions or comments? All right, call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving on to item number 7, approval of the minutes. We don't have any minutes at this time. So let's move on to item number 8. Commissioners, we will read through the action agenda as presented. Items can be removed for separate discussion or vote. Commissioner Netherland, if you could take items 8.1 and 8.2. Commissioner Tiresville, 8.3 through 8.5, and I'll take the remainder.
Be happy to, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, item number 8.1 reads, approval of the warrants and treasurer's electronic remittance. Claims, clearing fund, warrants number 8112031 through 8112289, the amount $2,369,796.61. Direct deposit fund, warrants number 115645 through 116054, the amount $965,763.08. Salary clearing fund, warrants number 7008844 through 7008870. The amount, $661,924.60. Item number 8.2, approval for the Sheriff's Office to purchase Bright Veritone redaction software for a $15,000 annual subscription.
Item number 8.3, approval of County Road Improvement Project, CRP 2065 on Upper Elfendal Pass Road from milepost 1.85 to milepost 4.85, which will consist of resurfacing the existing roadway and shoulders, roadway striping, and any other necessary safety improvements. Item 8.4, approval of the resolution to continue the periodic update of the Mason County Comprehensive Plan using the Office of Financial Management, OFM, medium growth forecast and projected housing unit growth as outlined in Exhibit A. Item 8.5, approval to accept the recommendations of the hearing examiner and grant the vacation of the right-of-way as petitioned, subject to the conditions contained in the findings of fact, conclusions of law, and recommendations of the hearing examiner for the road vacation number 421.
Item 8.6, approval to accept the recommendation of the hearing examiner and grant the vacation of the right-of-way as petitioned, subject to the conditions contained in the findings of fact, conclusions of law, and recommendations of the hearing examiner for road vacation number 423. Item 8.8, approval to set a public hearing for Tuesday, May 13th, 2025 at 9:15 to consider sale of real property at 5 Public Works Drive, Shelton, Washington, parcel number 42002-13-90050 in the amount of $450,000 to David C. Bailey and/or assigns. Item 8.9, approval for the county administrator to negotiate hourly contracts for criminal defense attorneys up to $175 per hour from April 23rd, 2025 through April 31st, 2025. And item 8.10, approval of the county road closure of Matlock Brady Road, milepost 24.61 from May 12th, 2025 until May 20th, 2025 for culvert replacement. All right, having
One
through,
correction, Madam Chair. 8.9, it's through August. I think you said April
did I?
31st.
well, let's go with August.
Yeah.
All right.
That'd be helpful, thank you.
Maybe. All right, having read through the action agenda, commissioners, are there any items you would like to have removed for separate discussion or vote?
None for me.
No?
I move that we
Oh,
approve.
hold on just a moment.
to-
Anyone in our
Sorry.
audience have anything that, or would they like any item removed for separate discussion or vote? Anyone in the Zoom room? All right, now go for it.
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of the action agenda
I second.
as month.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the action agenda. Any discussion? No. I do want to say, we go through this action agenda rather quickly. Mondays are the best day to really see what's going to be, or to hear the discussions about what's on the action agenda. Staff typically has a very informative and very thorough discussion with us to help us decide whether or not the agenda or the item should be on the action agenda. So I encourage you to really just to watch our briefings. They're a lot more fun. Not that this isn't fun, but okay, having said that, I'll call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, let's move on to item number 9. Do we have any department heads or elected officials that would like to say anything? We have one.
Yes, yeah, Mark Neary, County Administrator. I just wanted to express my appreciation to the board to give me the authority for 8.9. It has worked. So we actually have attracted some additional contract attorneys to come in and help on our felony cases. In fact, we may even have one that we're working with to cover the daily preliminary hearings calendar. This is really important because individuals that are actually arrested and placed in jail, they have to actually have a preliminary hearing within 14 days or we have to release them. And so since we didn't have any felony attorneys that were qualified to actually represent those folks in that preliminary hearing, it was getting to be pretty scary. So by allowing us to do this, we have secured some more attorney time with our contract attorneys. It's not a long-term solution, but it definitely will help provide some closure of those gaps that exist. And I'm hopeful that we'll be successful in recruiting full-time employees for both our chief deputy position as well as a public defender 3 position that we have open. So if you know of any attorneys that like indigent defense, please encourage them to apply.
Very good. Yes, please. Yeah, and I would also encourage folks to watch the courts and watch the legislature because there are changes going on all the time. They just finished a session where they said that they're going to help us pay for our indigent defense, but it hasn't been signed by the governor, and so I never guarantee anything until after that. Even then, it could change. So, anything? And no. I looked at our auditor. He says, nope, nope. Anyone in our Zoom room? Any department heads? I don't see any. Okay. All right. Let's move on to item number 10. Public hearings. We have nothing scheduled at this time. So we'll move on to item number 11, boards, calendars, and reports. Commissioner Netherland, you could go first.
Can I go second?
No,
I'm trying to find it all now.
yes, you can. Commissioner Tuxville, would you lead us?
Sure.
Commissioner Netherland second, I'll follow.
Thank you.
So I have a conference coming up at 11 o'clock for, it's about short-term rentals put on by WASAC. It'll be interesting. Tomorrow I have meetings from 10:30 through 5:30, so pretty busy day. I'll be meeting with Tim Whitehead, and there's a local officials meeting in Thurston County, 5:30. On Thursday, I will be going to the, no, I won't, sorry. The sheriff's breakfast is what I was talking about doing. And then I leave Friday, flying to Savannah, Georgia, and I will be back Tuesday afternoon. Then next Wednesday, I'll have go to visit the Youth Connection, take a tour of their facility down there. Thursday, I also have a sheriff's luncheon at the Bistro in Lakeland Village, and then the North Mason Community Voice at 6 o'clock. That pretty much covers it.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Let me stop for time. I can
Nope,
do this.
I'll go ahead and go through a few of the things we did. We had a finance committee meeting where we were all together, so then Legal and Voters met with a developer for North Mason's, got some great ideas and some things to do, especially around the Allen area, which has been a while since we've been hearing that. The Realtors Association, the Kitsap Commercial Realtors Brokers Association asked me to come out and speak to them, and I got to hear an update on a lot of the things that are happening with the Port of Bremerton. That was good to go. EMS graduation was wonderful. We have a lot to be proud of here in North Mason. They did their first one. There was 25, 30 graduates. It was pretty doggone impressive. Those are all our people right here. And I'm so appreciative, and I saw some great people up there. And they had at least one graduate, if not two, that's as old as I am. And that left me hope, so maybe one day I'll be at EMS. So with that, Rotary Meeting, Peninsula Regional Transportation Organization, Farm Bureau, David Dix with the Canal Corning Council coming up here. We're gonna meeting with the league. Our auditor is a guest speaker for the Rotary, so we'll be at the Rotary as well. Are you guys handling the canvassing board, Madam Chair? Or, okay, because it's on my calendar for some reason, so I won't worry about it then. I'm meeting with Public Works to go over some different issues. I'm meeting with the chair of the Lakeland Village Community Association. Law Enforcement and Firefighters Board. I may attend the North Mason Community Voice meeting as well. And there's a big giant pancake breakfast. They have it every year at McClendon's. It's worth it to come out. It's enjoyable. It's a free breakfast, and I get to see people I haven't maybe seen for 30, 40 years, except for here and there. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. The saddest part is every year there seems to be less of those people from 40 years ago. But that's the way it works, huh? But it's one great day of a lot of hugs and remembering why we do what we do when we get to see all those faces, so.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, so, let me catch up with myself here. Later today, I will be going out to Public Works. We invited June Williams from the Journal. She wanted to take a ride in a big truck. And so I scheduled it with Loretta, and June will be going out there and taking a little tour. And it's significant to understand too also that this week is Public Works Week. So what an amazing opportunity for us to be able to share with the newspaper the amazing jobs that we do and the good equipment that runs well. Then this afternoon or this evening, we'll be going out for dinner, and so I might see people there for that. Tomorrow I'm having a SWAC tour, so the Solid Waste Advisory Commission. We're taking a recycling tour out to a recycling facility to see what actually happens, what gets kicked back. I'm very curious, so that'll be fun. I have a Public Works Board Executive meeting, Canvassing Board on Thursday, certification on Friday. Try to make it out to the sheriff's. No, I will not be making it out for the sheriff's because on a Friday, and if anybody would like the information, May 2nd, out at the Skokomish Community Center, we're having a substance abuse prevention summit, and I'm going to try to make that there. It starts at 8:30 from 3 o'clock. They have amazing speakers, social norms, canoe journey, outreach, the Bridge Project, social connections, gas station heroin. Just some really good information will be at this presentation, and so I'd encourage people to go out there and just listen and gather some information so that we can help our community and our youth. Kind of important, I think. And then, so you can't forget that Monday is Cinco de Mayo, right? So let's all go out and have some Mexican food and margaritas. Well, or just Mexican food. Okay, briefings, Wasatch Virtual. On Monday, on the 5th, we have a lodging tax special meeting. It's a workshop on our RFP, which is we send out it's proposals for services from our folks. So important event. I have something going on Tuesday and I can't remember what it is. Maybe it's not scheduled yet, Tuesday or Wednesday. And then Thursday, Public Works Board mini retreat. It's virtual because we're trying to save money. And I don't know why they call it retreats. I still don't. It's not fun. I mean, they're fun, but they're not as fun as a retreat would be. Anyway, sorry, I divert. And then I will be driving to SeaTac for a Washington State Association of Counties board meeting, and then back on Friday for a Public Works Board meeting. The women's group is having a tea, so it's just for women, out at the Squaxin, what's it called? It's their lunch center. Yeah. And so it's kind of neat because a bunch of women just get together, we have tea, we talk, we have programs, it's fun. Sorry guys, not for you. Even if you wore a dress, we would not allow you in. And then we're back here for briefings. And then don't forget, Sunday, May 11th is Mother's Day. Don't forget. Mark.
I got it on my calendar.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I guess that's, anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to, let's just have an idea. I'm looking at the stuff that we were given. You've got to be impressed by that makeshift bridge over that creek. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
We can't direct staff by ourselves, and that's why I'm bringing it up now. Can we consider having Mark and our staff look at if it's an allowed use to use 09 funds for clearance and stuff, because that could be maybe considered an economic development aspect of it, to maybe partner with the city, utilize some of those funds for maybe contract, or they hire somebody and we partner, because I can see how having this makes us non-economic development.
Right. We also have the opioid funds. So if we could,
Settlement and.
right.
Yeah.
So if we could take a look at those, because we also share that with the city.
So could we ask them to look into those, please? More? Yep.
Yep. Okay. Anything else?
Nope. Madam Chair, I move we adjourn.
Second.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.